Instagram and vineyards. Reality. Okay, welcome to this week's episode of Luv Subbin, and where does it find us now?
We are at one of the rest areas on I-90 headed west.
Yeah, the Mohawk Valley Welcome Center, which talks a lot about the locks, the Erie Canal.
And there's a lock right behind us.
And there's Lock 13 right behind us. So yeah, after a day late.
Yes, and there's a whole story on that.
And we'll hit that right after this. But we're on our way to a rally with the Southeastern Michigan Airstream Club, Blue Angels, and the F-22 demonstration team.
That should be exciting.
So yeah, we're on our way there. Harvest Host tonight.
Yep, first stop, Harvest Host tonight.
Yep.
Fulkerson Winery, which has really good wines, and it's a Great Lake winery.
Yep, we look forward to that. I'm not feeling too good today, but we'll make it happen.
It's actually a Finger Lakes winery, not a Great Lake winery.
Yes, good point. All right, let's hit this episode.
Okay.
Okay, so if you remember from our Lake Erie video, the thermal switch to our Dometic refrigerator has failed. So we just kind of jury-rigged it by connecting it, hardwiring it so that it ran all the time. But now Cindy found the right switch. We're going to go ahead and install that switch right now.
So, did you order two or just one this time?
You know, if you were asked us if we were to order two, and there actually is a maintenance strategy as to whether to carry a spare part or not. And in this case, it doesn't meet that criteria. One of the major criteria for whether you should carry a spare part is if it's a mission critical item that you can't work around and that you need and that is not readily available. Okay, so for example, we carry a spare water pump, right? Why? Because
it is a mission critical item. You can't run your water without it.
If you're boondocking, you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's 9 o'clock at night and your pump fails, you know, and I know some viewers are going to comment, well, you can use bottled water, jug water, you can. But for the most part,
it would be difficult to flush your toilet, I think.
It would be very difficult and extremely inconvenient. So we carry a spare water pump. In this case, when it failed, we were just able to quickly jury rig it, order it on Amazon. If we were off camping somewhere, we could do an Amazon Dropbox.
Correct.
And it would be easy. So, and also another consideration is the fact that it failed 23 years after it was put on. So the probability of an additional failure near term
is low.
So we are not going to carry a spare part one of these.
Right.
Because everything has space and space is value, so we're not going to. So let's go ahead and put this back on, and we'll get ready for our next trip. Oh, and thanks to the viewer that commented about the interesting way I was keeping my lid up using my noggin. This time I've decided to use a little blue painter's tape.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yep.
All right, so you got the connectors put on?
Yeah, the only wonky thing was you had to bend the connectors a little bit, and the one that was originally installed was bent as well, so that's not me having to do something, that's the way it was. So
okay, so the wires technically weren't long enough.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
So yeah, it should be all set and ready to go.
All
I think the next project I'm going to do at some point is add more fans.
Okay.
Just to see how that works. So
we're all set and hitched up and everything for our Michigan trip, but we had a slight hiccup.
Yeah. So
where's our lithium battery?
It is currently being charged inside. So what happened, this is my theory, the battery was at 0 voltage.
Okay.
So that tells me it cut itself off.
Okay.
Okay. So I tried to turn the battery disconnect on, but the battery disconnect requires voltage to make its little solenoid work, so it wouldn't turn on. So I plugged it in, figuring that the converter would charge the battery, everything would be good. We're on our ready to go. We unplug, hit the battery switch to use, and nothing. The battery is still at 0, so it was never charging. So when your battery disconnect is off and you try and charge it, it won't charge. So and the deal is this: if you do run your lithium battery down to 0 and it shuts itself off, and your battery disconnect is on when it shuts itself off, it'll probably stay in that position, is my guess.
The battery
disconnect will stay in the on position.
Okay.
So that you can then charge it up once you're able to charge it up again. So yeah, troubleshooting.
Okay.
So now we're charging the battery.
So this may delay us for a day, who knows.
Yep.
So we're going to see what happens next. And we're going to figure this out because we're not going to have this happen again.
Nope. All right, you can see we've had the battery on the trickle charger now for a few hours. It's around 13 volts or so. But I don't want to leave it on the trickle charger all night. What I'd like to do is make sure it's in the Airstream using the converter, because I want to make sure that's working correctly. But the converter should be able to dump a charge into this quicker than just my 1.25 amp battery maintainer, trickle charger, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it from the battery charger and just make sure it maintains voltage. Assuming it maintains voltage, then I'm going to reinstall it and unplug the Airstream so that it's not on power, and then hit the battery disconnect. Hopefully the battery will connect. I'll talk to my Victron and we'll replug in the Airstream and get the battery charging through its converter, which should make sure it does better. So let's go ahead and continue this experiment. All right, Cindy's gonna go ahead and unplug, or actually turn off the refrigerator. I'm gonna unplug the Airstream, and then we're going to reinstall the battery and check to make sure the disconnect comes on.
Okay.
I predict it will, but we'll see.
We'll see. So you can check the voltage?
Yep.
See if it's holding charge?
All right, that's where it should be, 12.9, which is what it was reading in there. Let's go ahead and try and turn the battery disconnect on.
Okay. All right.
All right.
See if it works. Did it
That
work?
works, yep.
Good.
So let's connect to the Victron, see where we're at.
Everything looking good?
Yep, I may have to adjust the thing because it's showing 100% and it's not 100%. So now we can go ahead and plug in and get this thing charging off the converter. Cindy seems to have lack of faith in the converter, so we'll just check to make sure that the converter is charging it. And it is.
Okay.
So,
all right.
That should bode well for tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. We may be back in business.
Maybe back in business. All right, so it's the next day, and I think we're hoping for better results.
Absolutely. So we've already turned off the refrigerator, so we're about to unplug from electric, and we're going to hope for better results than yesterday.
Yeah, so I don't think I brought this up before, but the theory being that when you put the battery disconnect into store mode, your LPG detector continues to draw at about 0.25 amps.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up for about a week and a half,
yep.
So we think that's what drained the battery initially.
Yep, so we shall see. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect. I should see good voltage, 100% charge, and we should be ready to go.
All right, we're disconnected from electric. The store battery light is still on, which is a good sign.
Good.
So he's going to check the Victron, make sure we are at full charge.
We have a Victron.
We have a Victron.
Yep, 100%, 0.4. Well, it's actually drawing 0.27, which is probably the LPG detector. 100%.
Yep.
14 volts. We're ready to go.
All right. So we analyzed what happened, and we did the fix, and we know what to do in the future. I think you talked about getting a quick disconnect, something or other, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get a marine grade actual disconnect that fully disconnects the Airstream completely from all loads.
So it's very difficult to disconnect one of the terminals on the Lithium just because of the way it's put together.
Yep.
So that's our fix, and
right.
we are going to be on the road. So occasionally you can see a looper going on the Erie Canal.
What is a great loop?
A great loop is someone who stays on the rivers of America.
Yeah, it's the America's Great Loop.
We saw one earlier, and they had the flag and everything.
Oh, look at them all.
Yeah, all the loopers are out today.
I think it's because the locks just opened. If you recall from our other video, some of the locks were closed. I think this one specifically.
Yes.
And now we've seen, what, 4 loopers today?
Yes.
I still think we're going to do that in 27.
So we're about 0.7 from our campground, and we're seeing some big wineries coming up. I believe this is going to be Glenora on our left here, which is a biggie. See the lake over there?
All right, we have parked our RV in the vineyard and we're here at Fulkerson Winery and we're doing a tasting. So one of the interesting things of the Finger Lakes, we've been coming here, of course, for years and years, being the 2007 King and Queen of the Finger Lakes Wine Festival. You can see that picture here. But anyway, so what's interesting is that they're starting to grow a lot more Austrian varietals, such as Gruner Veltliner and Zweigelt. So this is the Gruner. That's very nice, very nice. It's a little acidic forward, some fruity of like some good fruit flavors. Overall, really smooth and good.
So if you watch my channel, you'll know I'm a big fan of rosés. This is an excellent dry rosé. And what's fascinating is it's served chilled, and you can also serve it at room temperature. And when it's chilled, it tastes like a very nice light rosé. Dry, but a little bit of fruit on the background. And when it's at room temperature, it really has more forward flavors.
I think you said it was deepened.
It deepened the flavors a lot, and so it almost did taste like maybe a light Pinot Noir almost.
So cool.
So very good.
All right, see you picking our wines?
We are picking our wines, so we're going to start with the Syrah Rosé.
That was delicious.
That was delicious. So the number 3 wine we're going to pick up is the Zweigelt.
Nice.
Which is an interesting wine.
It's an Austrian wine. We thought that'd be perfect with barbecue chicken.
Excellent, yes.
We also got the Cab Franc.
Yep, and we're going to get one more. All right, so our last one is the Reserve Syrah. And that was spectacular. I can see that being really good with a steak. So it had a lot of flavor to it, very light in tannins, of course, and just a lot going for it.
All right, see, how much was our free camping tonight at Harvest House?
There's $113.04.
Nice. That's what you got to remember about Harvest House.
Yeah,
you got to support your host.
Excellent bottles out of it, though.
We got some great bottles. We're looking forward. We've already paired a few of them with our future meals.
Yes, we have.
And we're going to remember this winery as we head out west.
Correct.
So you can see there's the Fulkerson Winery sign, and you can see the peak of the Luv Sub over across the way. And we'll show you what our campground site looks like for tonight. We might have a little bit of road noise, hopefully not too much. So you can see our campsite set up against the vineyards here.
Stay tuned to next week's episode, where we continue our trip to Michigan and stay at a city campground on the shores of Lake Erie.
So if you like this video,
give us a big thumbs up.
And if you think we've earned a subscription, click to subscribe.
And comment below if you've been to the Finger Lakes and what wineries you enjoy.
Because we come out with RV and Airstream related videos just like this one every Tuesday.
Thanks for watching.